Hey, what's up, guys? So this is I guess, bad news kind of thing. So, for whatever reason, and I'm hoping this is not a persistent problem, but it feels like it might be. Uh, the Pokemon videos, the last two of them, have just been completely corrupted. Like, the audio is completely fine, it's just the video. So I'm going to give you an example of how this should work normally. So this is one of the videos of Survive I did. Oh, it's kind of late, so just, I don't know. I'll skip through. Um, but basically, it works like this. You can roll, you can see the whole game. There you go. You can see the whole thing. It just works on a time limit like that. Now, what the Pokemon videos have been doing, for some unknown reason, I think I didn't catch this one. I think I already edited this video, and I have to edit it again. So, like, okay, it starts off normal, we get the gameplay going, stuff like that. But then, we get to a certain point, and it just... hold on. It just stops. Or it'll go back and forth between, like, a millisecond. And then that's just the rest of the video. As you can see here. And it just, like, full on, just, like, it just goes back and forth, like, it just, like, stutters like this. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't know how to fix it. And it's not something I can, like, do anything with in post. It just, the video recording failed. Which sucks. So this was the second to last part of Pokemon Diamonds with, or Brilliant Diamond with Carlos. Here's this one. This isn't even where I started the video. So I don't even understand why it's caught here. Because, like, I started outside the Elite Four. But this is the whole footage. So... I don't know what to do. So I could either just I don't have a save I can go like back to, because all of that stuff has happened. You can only have one save file in Pokemon, so I can't re-record it. So I'm just gonna release these last two videos as like pseudo podcasts. Sorry, I don't like it either. I hate it, to be honest. But this is just what a terrible way to end this series that I also didn't really enjoy doing. So that's it. I'm really hoping this is just Pokemon, or this is just the Switch, and that's it. I had no problems recording Survive for like 51 videos, and then the two fucking Pokemon videos. I had 3 Pokemon videos it's happened with now. It keeps fucking up. So I think it's something with the Switch. I'm gonna recheck all my cords and stuff like that. I don't know what else to do, to be honest. Just keep recording shorter, I guess. So I apologize. I hope you still enjoy the video. I hope you still enjoy the banter. But I just wanted to give you a reasoning and show you just how far out of my hands this is. I was like, it's either I just don't upload this and the series is never finished, or I give you like a weird podcast version instead. So sorry about that. But I hope you still enjoy. Goodbye. I love you. Watch other videos. Bye. Alright. This is it. The true final part of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond.
You've been crying.
What a great start. It started off with you being like, because you're fucking cutting out because you're getting away from the microphone.
Oh, my bad.
So last time they cheated and we lost, and that's the story I'm sticking with. Oh, hold on, I gotta change that.
You have that in common with my soccer team.
With your FIFA team, is that what you said?
No, just actual soccer team. We only lose because someone was cheating.
Well, naturally, yeah.
Yeah.
So I beefed up the team. By beefed up, I mean I ran through the Elite Four again and purposely lost at the end so I could get some extra XP. Gave them all held items this time, bought more restorative items, tracked down this thing, the Quick Claw, because it makes it so sometimes the Pokemon can go first, and that way I can use this move that like makes Magnet Rise, which makes him float, so he stops getting killed by every single Pokemon who knows Earthquake, because they all fucking know Earthquake for some reason. A move that they only give me one copy of. Every one of the fucking Elite Four knows all of their Pokemon. Anyway.
Have you tried getting good?
That's what I'm doing right now. And I also taught Metagross. This is not for you. This is for the audience, Carlos. I taught Metagross Zen Headbutt, so he gets that sweet attack bonus, since my special attack's not as good. And I also taught him Grass Knot, because there are 3 Pokemon that are only weak against grass. We have Quagsire and Wishcash on Bertha, And then we have what's it called? The stupid slug Pokemon that Cynthia has. I can't remember its name right now. Gastrodon.
Yeah, Gaston.
Yeah, you knew. Hold on. Amy is responding, and
Is it a good one? Are you pausing the recording for this?
I'm just gonna be very vague about the part that we're talking about.
Okay. For 300K, we'll reveal it to listeners.
Yeah, after not we, I'll reveal it because by then you'll be kicked off the channel.
No. If you 300K, you only get the secret. I don't get the channel. You have to pay a specific amount for me.
So for the for the combo pack though, we'll do 400K, and we'll both kick Carlos off and scrub him in the channel, and I'll tell you the secret. Look at me taking 100K off the price because I'm so nice. I'm so generous.
Imagine in like 40 years when money has inflated to a point where 250K
until we've got Zimbabwe money.
Yeah, and so it's like some kid's just gonna be like, I'm gonna pay it.
That's a good point, actually. This is calculated for inflation, so whatever the date from when we first set it, like we'd calculate it from there.
Okay, cool.
That's a good point, thank you, because it's very likely that it happens in either situation. So
we're in the nursing home, and it's like, I think you'd be more upset because now you got a shit ton of work.
I've got two things. One, why do you think your kids are going to put you in a nursing home? And two, I like that you do imagine that we're in the same nursing home. I do find solace in that because there's two parts there. It's one, you think your kids are going to abandon you, but they're going to be nice enough to put you with your best friend. But also, why would I be in a nursing home? I'm going to be lucid. I'm not going to lose my mind.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, losing your mind about the function. Like, yeah, there were people at the nursing home who I remember were completely with it, but like the motor skills were no longer there.
Oh, like what's his face in Breaking Bad?
Yes. Well, yeah, who knows, But also, the homes, places, they're interesting places.
All right, let's get started. I was not to cut you off or anything. I was discussing. I was discussing a potential haircut with my girlfriend. She has two that she wants to do. The first one that I'm like, that sounds amazing. You should do that. And the second one she wants to do after that I'm more like, But like, I genuinely have nothing to base it on. So I'm just sort of like, I mean, I really won't know until I see it. My gut says no. But that's me trying to communicate that while also being like, ultimately it's your body, your choice, and your head, so I don't care. Like, it's not a big deal for me. I know what Pokemon they're going to lead with, so I should make sure we're good to go with that.
But yeah, what did you respond with your comment?
She didn't yet. That was the part I was responding with. I did tell her I was recording at 8, so like, she's gonna know that, and then just like she had like a burst of like, I should dye my hair. Like, when you just like get like the idea in your head. She's like searching like salons and stuff like that, which I'm like, go for it. As someone who cannot do that anymore, I'm all for it. For the viewers who have not seen me or in stream, I'm a shaved head man because I'm going bald. But I do have a great.
You said that?
I have a great beard though, so it's fine. I pull off like the big, bald, like beard, muscular dude. I think I pull it off. Would you consider me muscular, Carlos?
What?
Would you consider me muscular?
Yeah.
I think I'm with there. I think my neck alone, like, I've got the fucking Frank West from Dead Rising neck, which I guess you don't get, but still.
Oh.
Google Frank West.
Okay.
Google Frank West Dead Rising 1. Audience will patiently wait for this. We won't wait. We'll keep going. You're like, yeah, I see it.
Could be worse.
How could it be worse? Could I also not have a beard? I guess that could be worse.
Yeah, you.
Could you what? Stop cutting out.
Short.
I could be short. That's true. I am also above 6 feet. So
Because if you were short with your dimensions, let's just say it would
that's
be
true, actually. No, I think you could if you. So
no, because your elongated legs really make you understand it's not just something with a stop. You know,
kind of. Your audio
like
is terrible today.
yeah, I keep on dropping.
It's okay for now.
Dropping, but
So, have I ever told you this? I feel like you would pick on it more if you did know this. I don't know if I have told you. You're aware of my brother, Mark.
yeah.
Did you know that Mark and I are roughly the same height, but our bodies are not the same? What I mean by that is, Mark has a long torso and I have long legs. So like when we stand next to each other, our heads are more or less in the same spot, but our waists are like completely different spots.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like Mark's you weirdly to me is like, oh, Mark taller? And then sometimes I'm like, I'm looking at you guys, I'm like, nah, maybe Nick is taller.
I think Mark might be taller than me, but I have longer legs, so fuck him. Who cares? It's like my legs are longer than his legs, so I don't care. But yeah, that's a real thing. And but also I think that I think if I was shorter, I would have to get jacked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would just I'd look like I had little man syndrome, which if I was shorter, I would have little man syndrome. So like it's not like it'd be accurate. Like I googled Jeremy Dooley. Dooley.
Dooley. Jeremy spelled traditionally?
Yeah. He's a traditional. Yeah, he was a member of Achievement Hunter. And he streams on his own now, and he's also from Boston. So shouts us to him.
And his hairline not strong.
Yes, okay, yes. But that's what I mean. That's where how it would look like, essentially. That's the blueprint.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's one thing I'm lucky of. If I scaled higher, I'd look fine. If I was lower, I'd fine. But honestly, if I was smaller, any smaller than I currently am now, I'd be like, I don't understand what I would do. A lot of people would just take me a lot less seriously. At like 5'3".
How tall are you again? This isn't like a drag. This is like
I'm a proud 5'8".
5'8's fine. You are literally Carlos. When I think of average height, I literally think of you. Like you're my barometer for average height. We got through here with no casualties here and one Pokemon. I just want to throw that out there. Well, it was funny because we were walking. Oh yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Did we must have? Did we explain this last week? Did we record last week? Yeah.
Yeah, we did. That's where you fucked up.
When I was like deeply sick.
Yeah, when the game cheated.
Maybe that was it, guys. I was sick. I was, I wasn't fighting at full strength. I wasn't like thinking rationally. I had COVID brain. So like
you were also really grouchy too.
I was, and so were you. So,
yeah, we had a rough week.
I feel like if there was gonna be, it's like the classic like, well, you didn't go into it with the right mindset, and that's why we lost. Like we were both so negative. Well, that and COVID brain.
Yeah, that
and also they cheated, but like
Yeah.
And you were distracting me a little bit, but like, which isn't your fault because I asked you here, so it's not your fault. But like.
So I walked Nick and Amy back to the subway.
I can't believe you're carrying this. I thought you were gonna let that story go.
No.
Okay.
I just remember it being like, again, for those who forgot from last episode, I was high as balls, and I'm looking at both of them. Also, I've only met Amy like twice.
That's true, and I think both times she was sitting down for most of it.
Yes. So. Like I didn't really register, and then we were walking, and I was like, "Am I down?" I was thinking, like, "Am I downhill? Are we on a hill? Are we on a slope?" And then I looked over, and I was like, "We're not. Nikki's where he's supposed to be." I guess Amy's just at me.
I love the thought process of like, "Am I downhill?" Because I'm on a level with you. I also had that thought, and I had it from the same reason you did. Which is, I'd never seen you and Amy walking in the same places. And I'm like, Amy's shorter than me. So, like, I was like, surely they must be, like, the same height or something. And, like, I went to, and so, I also was, like, looking at you, like, is Carlos downhill? Like, I love that you're just like, I guess Amy's taller than me.
But I was just like, yeah, I would remember like from the jump. Oh, she's me, and then I don't remember all the other instances of her, meeting her and being able to gauge where her height was.
That is
Also,
again, that's very funny to me.
Do we about how Amy was like, "I have the tea," and then proceeded to tell one of the most depressing I've ever heard?
Wait, one more time? You were cutting a little there, but I also am not sure in the story.
So, Amy, Juliana, she has a story full of tea, and so I'm thinking
But she has
it's
a
gonna
what?
be like a fun tea story.
Oh,
Like I thought it was
okay, wait. Is it funnier if I tell this after? No, you keep going. You keep going. I'll tell it after.
So like, Amy and Nick were supposed to be there for due to some events occurred, like it happened. But I thought it was gonna be like like he got caught cheating with like the secret gas type story. But no, like there are a darker layer.
Real quick, just imagine that Carlos is like Zemos from Saints Row 3 and 4. I think he was only in 3. Where he's just like auto-tuned everything he says. Just imagine it that way. Because you sound like, yeah, but it was much darker. I should just auto-tune you for this video.
But nah, that shit was. I literally thought it was gonna be like, oh, fun. This is gonna be fun. I love hearing about how relationships fail. I'm sorry. I'm a horror person. I'm fully aware of that. I love a good horror story. And
To
it
clarify,
was like
he said he loved to hear when relationships fail. I wanted to make sure you guys got that.
no, but like, I'm hearing about like someone saying like, oh, this person that I was infatuated with, and then it turns out he wiped his ass. Or remember that video I sent you where it was like he can't read, and I was just like.
Real quick, Carlos, I think I found the thing. I think it's you're peaking. So if it might be the audio I have you set at, but I usually have you set pretty low.
My ping. Yeah, my ping should be fine.
I don't know a good way to do it. So your voice sounds completely fine as long as you keep it like somewhat normal voiced. Like as long as you don't just like start raising your voice, it seems fine.
Okay.
Which I know is going to be impossible for you. I'm like genuinely not even joking, and I'm like, I also get it. Like, but just keep that in mind.
But yeah, I think like, I love hearing stories. Like I said about like, they were in love with the person, and then one day they were just fed up with them, and then it was like you get to hear all the fucking hilarious weird shit that people do in the privacies of their homes.
Yes.
Like, find that someone was dating a guy who couldn't read. That's hilarious to me. Or like, homie couldn't hold down a job. That's funny. Stuff like that is,
it's classic. Your classic comedy.
It's horrible, but it's chuckle worthy. Amy proceeds to tell me a story that makes me feel very horrible for what had transpired, and thinking about both parties and being like, oh my god. And I was just, when
Carlos wanted tea, and he got the whole jug. He got the whole pitcher. He got. He didn't.
I got the truth, and I don't want the truth. I wanted tea.
Carlos went in expecting to take a sip of some, your normal Earl Grey, and he got a pitcher of Long Island iced tea.
No, because Long Island iced tea would be fun. It's like hot black coffee. You thought you were drinking cold, so you went in. And then way too hard. You sucked way too quick, and now your mouth is burning up because you got caught by surprise.
That does make more sense. Yeah. Can I tell you why now?
Okay.
So that's my fault. It's not my fault that the things that happened with that relationship. What's my fault is that I told Juliana it was spicy. Amy didn't tell her it was spicy. I did. It was when it was in the planning stage, because she was like, why are you going to be in New York anyway? And I was like, oh, well. And then I was like, oh, it's something like this and this and this, but also it's kind of spicy. And and she was like, wow, fun. And then like I thought about it after. It's like, it's not really that spicy. It's more sad. But I was like, I'll leave it on Amy. She can spice it up. And I was like, knowing that's not Amy. Like, Amy's just gonna tell you exactly how it happened. And like, as she's telling it, I was like, I may have prepared them wrong for this. This may be my fault. And but I just sort of silently was just like, nobody's gonna call me up for it, so I'm just sort of and I think if you remember, I just changed the subject when it stopped because I was like, let's get away from this topic. But I was fully like, I might have fucked up here. I mean, this is definitely on me, but I think I can get away with it.
that is not an early dinner story. That
no, it wasn't. And it's like I completely set Juliana up for failure because she asked about it. Like
Juliana was like, yeah, let's get into it. She's a messy bitch too. I love my woman, but she loves public freakouts. She loves like whenever a window is open, like couples breaking up on the street happens routine here. That girl is glued to the window watching. But yeah, I literally thought it was gonna be like, oh, Amy's gonna wind us up with a crazy Amy story. You know the shenanigans Amy gets into. It's like the time that you told me about that teacher who busted his Achilles.
I don't remember this story.
Some teacher that Amy was referring for that time. He was the coach of the basketball team. He went out to practice with them little boys, and his old body couldn't handle it. And he busted his ass.
I do vaguely remember this.
He tore his Achilles up out of the office for like 2 months because homie came, and I'm like, that is serious to think of as a 40-year-old. You run it, you just big body go.
It is pretty funny. That does remind me because I was thinking about this earlier because I saw like a comic of like someone being like people's weaknesses. It's a meme template, but it's like people's weaknesses, and it's like Samson, they cut off his hair. Achilles hit him in the ankle, and then usually people fill it with like big titty goth girlfriends. And it's like, you know, just your weaknesses. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, it is surprising how few people know that Achilles' heel does not refer to his literal heel. Like, it's like the dude. Do you remember what it was? We learned about it in Hades.
Yeah, he gets it, and hung over. No, wait, I don't know. I didn't get that far in Hades where I found about Achilles.
So
I just know where the 10.
So the myth is that he was held in like a spring or something that made him like invulnerable. That made him like invulnerable except from where they were holding him. That's the fable, myth, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
What it actually was he had one weakness, and it was his boyfriend, like, or his husband.
Oh,
I guess.
Yeah.
Like, the whole story is that he goes fucking crazy after his like, he retires, doesn't want to go fight for the war anymore. His boyfriend partner decides he's going to take up instead, wears his armor, fights him. I don't know how much of this is Hades and how much of it is real. I think a good chunk of it is real. There's some embellishments by Hades, but basically took up his armor, pretended to be him, and then fought as him and died. And then Achilles just like goes out fucking swinging because he's in a rage. That's how they took down Achilles, is that they lured him essentially.
Maybe we should get into Greek myths.
I do think both versions of that story are very good, though. I like the
the exact nature of the relationship is the subject of dispute in both the classical period and the modern times.
That's how you know it was spicy. It's not under dispute if it's not real. Carlos, I'm obviously I was wrong. They're roommates.
Yeah. They're just
friends with benefits.
That is the wildest thing now. Go watch like a 90s movie or something. It's just like, oh yeah, that's his friend. Or like you meet really old people and they still up in that closet, and it's just like, goddamn, man.
I will occasionally, like when I'm watching something like older, or I will or I'll meet someone who's like a family friend or something. Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, yeah, that's so and so, and that's their roommate, so and so. And like as a kid, I was like, okay, sure, surface level information. As an adult, I'm like, except I think my uncle, who is married and has a child to a woman,
Oh, this is gonna be spicy on the gram.
had a roommate in his, I don't know how old he was. Maybe he's like late 20s. But like for his time, that wasn't as normal. It's normal now, but it wasn't as normal back then. And I think it was genuinely because I'd been to his apartment. And it was just a fucking like bachelor pad. So I'm like, I think he just had a roommate. I don't think he was gay. Like, I think he just was staying with, like, I think him and a friend just rented a place together to save money.
I mean, God, that's one thing I like don't miss. Like I miss it. I don't miss it. Was like living with a friend, because it's like it's cool, but also it's every bad day they're there. Like why are you all in the space?
Every what?
Day they're there, and you're like, I really want to be alone. This motherfucker want to have a connection.
I feel that way about living with a spouse or like a partner.
It's very different.
It is different. I will admit to that, having never lived with a partner. But as a personal thing, I'm like, that's like Amy and I are both like that, where we're both like kind of independent people. So like, for us to move in together, it wouldn't be like a rushed thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're both of the mind of like, if one of us buys a house, sure, like it makes sense at that point. But if it's just sort of like it feels like the right time, or we've been together so long, we should just live together. That's not quite as important to us as like, let's do it right, and like make sure that we have like at least a couple, but like 2 bedrooms at least. Not for like each other, but just like if you need like your own like space and stuff like that. Like we don't want to be on top of each other.
It's also you have a big different scenario. Honestly, something that's weird to me, don't understand, is like how most couples do it, because like me and Juliana not only moved in, obviously I love this woman, but we want to move in because like once I got a new job, wasn't working at the university, it was like I had somewhere to live, and I needed a roommate because I wouldn't make enough. And she was like, I'm at the end of my lease.
Different thing.
Yeah, but like you're like, oh, I'm gonna break this lease to move in with my boyfriend. Wild.
No, that shit's wild. That's out of pocket.
I mean, I feel like people don't do that no more. They just everyone waits for movies.
I mean, I'm confident someone is still doing it. Like, it's just like
there's a lot of crazy people out there. Also, everyone from 22 to 6, absolute wild, dude. Just reckless.
You have to be, right? Like,
I mean, you're still figuring it out.
I feel like there's so many different ages and like periods of time that nobody tells you are like so distinctly different. Like,
Yes.
like nobody tells you that 17 to 21 is so drastically different from 21, which is drastically different from 22 to 26. Like, everyone's always just like, teens, 20s. Like, they generalize so much.
I mean, us, like, my 20s, 'cause really what I believe it comes down to is, like, you hit 18, adulthood has begun, but for the vast majority of the population, especially where we came from, Nick, I feel like you get training wheels because you get to go to college. And, like, if you don't get to go to college, you're still figuring it out, but you have a lot less room to just fuck up. So it's going to make you a little bit more, like, conservative in terms of how you move. Feel like, yeah, you're 18 through 21 is figuring out how much you can get away with life and not dying, and then 22 to like onward is like, oh my god, I really could fucking die at any moment. This could really go either way, and I have no idea where I'm going. And then yeah, once you hit 30, I haven't figured that out.
I feel like between 27 and 30, this is probably the bigger range, probably like 32, 33. It's like, all right, how do I learn to undo all of those bad habits I picked up between like 18 and fucking 26?
Yeah.
How do I learn to be like a true adult? Like I've had adult responsibilities. How do I learn to do it well? Like,
I honestly, that's something I'm always interested in, is where do people feel like they became an adult?
Mine is so easy.
All right.
For me, I had a couple distinct steps, but I think the biggest point was getting my own place. I think that was
okay.
like I do not have a safety net anymore. This is all I got and I gotta like do my own stuff. But I think there were a couple steps that happened before that contributed to it. Like my life seriously changed when I got the job at WB. And it wasn't just because it was WB or anything special about the company. It was because I had gotten a job that paid enough where I could feasibly move out on my own. I moved in with roommates first because I had a friend who had an opening and it was much cheaper than finding a place of my own. It turned out to be not a great situation. Still better than the situation I was living in. But it was like my first, like, I got that. And then I got a girlfriend. Which I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, I've got like a whole set of like other responsibilities I did not have before. Like, and then so there was that, then getting my own place. I think the next step, which you've already taken, is pet ownership.
Oh yeah, that is. I'll say this. Well, around like the pandemic, I was just like, oh, like fuck, because we moved in right at the beginning.
By the way, you and everyone else, like,
no, but more of like, oh fuck, like, kind of bummed of like I'm not gonna be able to really celebrate the end of my 20s, and I didn't realize that it was gonna be like 30 and we're still like in this shit, you know?
Sure.
So, cause like I don't know, it felt like before the pandemic, I still felt like a kid where I was like getting really fucked up on the weekends, like at the bars in the area.
See, that's an interesting thing because, as you know, I never went through that because I was never
Yeah.
a partier.
Yeah.
I've been, like, personality-wise, I think I've been the same person since I was 18. The only difference being maturity, like, to an extent. I think I've been pretty mature from the gate. But,
Yeah.
But I can always improve.
But you also you had want to, you know, because like I feel like
I also
there's
had
a little bit.
I had a very much like a fucking sink or swim like childhood.
Yeah.
Like I had to grow up fast.
You were 2 steps away from becoming a rapper.
I think
If you
if
like
I
music,
if I had lived if I lived in the Marvel universe, I would have been a supervillain. I think.
Oh yeah, I get that.
I think I would have started off as a henchman, as you do, and I think I would have become like a lieutenant to like fucking Kingpin or someone.
Oh god,
Getting the shit kicked out of me by fucking Spider-Man, and Daredevil and everything. Well, like, no, because we've talked about this before in different videos. My favorite part of Ultimate Spider-Man is it's like halfway through the story of Peter Parker, and you've seen Peter Parker before and everything. Like Ultimate Spider-Man. By the time that it happened, like there'd been like decades of Spider-Man and like the Amazing Spider-Man. But this was the version of him as like, you know, a high schooler, and he meets Nick Fury, and he's like, why are you giving me so much crap? Why are you so on my ass with all this stuff? And he's like, kid, you have the makings, based on your life and everything that's happened to you, we're surprised you're not a supervillain. Like, it's like
He brings up the valid point.
he brings up the valid point of like, oh wait, yeah, why isn't he a supervillain? Peter Parker has the exact same origin as like so many supervillains, and he chose not to. And I found that to be a really great moment because I was like that resonated a little bit, where it's like, man, I could really like, in so many different ways, I was like, I could have gone off the fucking rails and didn't. Like,
Thank you.
tell her I said hi.
No, she already walked out.
Yell.
I'm not gonna yell.
Yell.
I'm a man. I'm a man of class.
I'm just gonna fine. You know what? I'll just text her. Text her and said hi.
I don't like that. Don't say. It's gonna get wild. But it's the Spider-Man origins. That's interesting to think about. As Spider-Man is when does Spider-Man become an adult?
That's true too.
At what point does it stop like becoming a fun teenage story?
At what
I mean, I
time?
guess-
At what time do they stop becoming a study group and become a community?
True. About the end of the pilot. Yo, I'm so excited for when they announce the official date of that movie, and then to plan methodically when am I gonna do my rewatch.
You know, did I? I don't know if I've told you this. I got Catherine to watch Community, and it's now her like designated comfort show, where she watches it like every 2 or 3 months. Like it's.
I love Catherine. I love Catherine.
It's like it's so. I have another moment like that, and it's like, you recently started watching Bleach.
Yeah.
So, about like a week ago, Mark started reading it because he just went and read through all of Chainsaw Man, and now he's reading through Bleach. And Mark is flabbergasted by how much he likes it. He's like, "How the fuck did I not watch this for like, or look into this for like 15 years?" I'm like, "Mark, you are alive and conscious and purchasing Naruto volumes when One Piece and Bleach were also being circulated. Like, you just chose not to." Like, and I just like, I love like semi rubbing it in, but also just being completely surprised. Or I'm just like, this is a wild conversation I never thought I would have with you, Mark. I just never like thought you would be into Bleach. And he's like, it's really fucking. I like it better than Naruto. Like, and I'm like, it's crazy. But it's so funny because he keeps like reacting to, like the big like plot moments and like saying to me, he's like, "Yo, this goes so fucking hard," and I'm like, "This is 2022, the year of our the year of our Lord." You love what?
I love Mark's love for shonen because he and me are both on that same wavelength of like, yeah, give me a battle arc, give me a saga here.
I can tell you with confidence that Mark is like the ideal and perfect like shonen audience. like some of the like writing stuff that for me and you were just sort of like, I didn't really like that part because like so and so and so. Mark will just be like, yeah, whatever. But it was so fucking cool when he did. Like, he's so hyped about it. I love it. Superpower. No, I'm good. But yeah, it's pretty good. He's flying through it. He then said something to me that I didn't like, which was.
Ooh, I love it. Turn it up.
Well, he's so he's a bit into the game now, or the game. He's a bit into the story. He's like, I think like 110 chapters in, which for you I think would probably equate to maybe like 40 episodes in, something like that. Mm-hmm. That's like just a general guess. But he like when he was like hyping it up, he was like, "No offense, but like this is way better than Chainsaw Man." And I was like, all right, okay, hold on. First of all, Chainsaw Man is heavily inspired by Bleach, so of course you like the original more. But like, and I was like, but also Chainsaw Man is like, they finished like part 1 in like 90 something chapters. You just passed 100 chapters and you're in the second arc out of like 7. So like,
nah, turn it up. Let's hear that.
Now I can see it too because I think. Honestly, I think you'd like Chainsaw Man more than he would, because Chainsaw Man is while on the surface is like oh man, gory anime fun, has some of those bleak and fucking like existential writing I've ever fucking read.
I've heard great things about it. I'm excited for the show.
So like this is the best like I told you so I've ever had in my life. I read Chainsaw Man when there were 5 chapters released, and this was back in like 2019. And like early, like January or February of 2019. And I was like, everyone should read this. It's going to be the next big fucking anime. I could already tell.
Hey, you remember you putting me on, and I was I'm going to fix on this. And then everyone else on my time was, hey man, Chainsaw Man.
So that's the funny thing is like, I enjoyed it right from the start. But then like as it got like crazier and crazier, it's like obviously it was really cool. But then I go on like r/manga and see it as like the top upvoted one, even above One Piece for like the week. And just seeing like all the people like giving it and seeing the anime announcement, everyone getting so hyped, and I'm just like, I fucking told all of you. I was there on the ground floor.
Oh, Mappa's doing the.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's gonna be crazy. I'm enjoying watching Bleach. Because it feels like 2007.
It does.
Adult Swim anime, and I'm like, oh, yeah, take me back. Take me back to Eric wearing a fucking Full Metal Alchemist sweater. Take me back to that. Not really.
I get it. It's fair.
It's a time and a fucking place.
It's funny because
Go ahead, yeah.
how long did Bleach last? When did Bleach start? I think Bleach started early 2000s, and I know it ended in 2016 because I just looked it up for Mark. But that's so crazy. Like, what's wild to me is like people like you and Mark who are like kind of just getting in, just dipping their toes in right now. I'm like, I was there weekly for these episodes. Like,
Oh yeah.
like I was just
No, the show that I think, because that's funny is I was into anime and video games. But I remember I fell out of it a little bit in like high school, and then I remember like
so you fell off.
yeah. Well, no, it was like freshman year.
So you fell
didn't-
off plus ratio.
Yeah.
Plus you're old.
We didn't go to the same high school, and then you came back sophomore year.
No, we went to the same high school. I came in middle school at the end of 8th grade.
No, because I don't remember having in classes with you freshman year.
Yeah, wait. No, hold on. So I came back middle school, so I was there
Okay,
for all
yeah.
of high school.
Yeah.
But I was also there for 7th grade. I just left for like half a year.
Hey, I mean, you got me into PlayStation. I also remember you being like, "Oh, you should check out Death Note," because I remember I asked you about
That's
it. Like,
true.
What,
I did do that.
what's this Death Note shit? And then you were like, "Oh, just check it out." And then I watched it
That's
on Hulu.
that's
like, the next day, and I
the
was like,
that's the
Yo.
only reason I got away with that is because you had heard about it, asked me about it, and then I was like, "Oh, it's pretty good." If I had went to you and been like, "Death Note's pretty good, you should watch it," you would have been like, "No," and that's just how it works. Like, you have to get like if I corroborate a recommendation, then you're like all for it and you'll watch it immediately. But like if I inspire it, you're like, "Nah, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about," which is bullshit. But also, to be fair to you, I do the exact same thing to you, so it works out.
You told me to check out Kogias as well.
I did. I'm taking credit for all these great anime recommendations.
Well, and that shit was like the thing that got me going on like Reddit for anime and stuff. And that's how I watched Cowboy Bebop, and I was like, yo, 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 yo. Oh, good times, man. And this is also during when you have like anime shit copyright strikes all the time, so you can find everything on there.
You literally, I remember there was a time where I literally watched Naruto on YouTube. That was the golden
It's
age.
good quality. Before this, mirroring shit, like in a mini screen.
You know what my new like least favorite one is? Because TikTok recently just found out that you can take copyrighted shit until they crack down on it.
What?
Is speeding up and pitching the audio.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, geez, just then don't post it. Like, I don't want to see it at fucking 1.5 speed, like in fucking vertical. Like,
in 480p.
Jesus.
Ah man, I miss when it was easy as fuck to pirate. That was America was freer then.
Sometimes sometimes my computer will default a YouTube video to like 144p because it glitches out for a second, or like it'll do like 480p or something, and I'll be like watching a stream and I'll be like, what? Why is this? And I'll check the quality, be like, ew. When like back in the day, I would have been like 480, nice, like high quality, great.
I remember watching like full wrestling matches in like the worst quality because like my like is still there, and so like you can go through like your entire YouTube history, and I'll go find like really old wrestling. I remember being like, "Yo, this camera is so clean, this is so crisp," and it's like 360p.
I'm gonna ask you a question that you haven't thought about in a long time. What quality did you upload your wrestling vids to your YouTube channel at?
Probably standard definition, probably 480p.
You can check that right now.
I don't want to do that.
Okay. Fuck me, I guess. Fuck content.
Let's see, actually, your channel. I haven't watched this shit in forever.
I can't believe you still have it up. For those that don't know, Carlos
Has one
doesn't
video
have
up.
a YouTube video.
It's 240p. It's 240p.
It is 240p? I fucking knew it. I was like, there's no way you had access to standard def. Like,
It's been a good match. I don't even like that match.
it's also been up there for like 10 years.
Yes. I'm shocked Vince McMahon has tried to not get me out of here.
Well, like you said, you don't like that match. I bet no one else does either.
No one's ever looking for it. It's a random Monday Night Raw. It ends in like fucking DQ. It's 7 minutes long.
I love it. I love all of it.
It's during a really whack angle, 2-man power trip when they put all the titles on Stone Cold Triple H, and they were trying to turn Stone Cold like more heel, but the crowd was like not having it.
My favorite thing is when they try and turn someone to a heel, and the crowd is like, no. Like, it's so funny every time. What was I going to say? Oh, so I couldn't find a good matchup for their Spirit team. I was having a lot of trouble killing it. Okay, and this Rosa Raid killed me when I did my like practice run, so let's hope they're dead, so that's fine. Can I get some GG's, Carlos? Thank you.
G in the chat.
Thank you. So it's weird. I'm also playing Pokemon Infinite Fusion right now. Did I explain the concept of this game to you?
No.
So Pokemon Infinite Fusion, much like the title or the namesake says, they have like 420 something Pokemon in it, and you can fuse any of them with any of them and make this like bastard amalgamation, which is fun. It's super cool, and it's super fun to see like all the different ones they can make. And but like because of that, I'm playing like it's like a completely different game. So like I have to like relearn how to like play certain parts of Pokemon because I'm like, right, what are they? This is normal, so I can't do this, right? So what do they do? I don't. It's all very weird. This is one of the Pokemon that gave us a hard time last time because they are only weak against Grass type, and they also absorb water, and they have Earthquake, so they can just fuck up like more than half my team. But now I got him, bitch. Now I got him. Bitch, you thought.
I hate when you tell me to go back on. Oh, sorry. Finish what you were saying.
No, I was done. What are you gonna say?
I hate when you tell me to like something I posted somewhere, because then it gets me that wormhole of my internet history, and I'm looking at like a YouTube channel I used to watch, like for wrestling, and like that shit never broke like 1.7
million.
I used to watch it. No, hey.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was in bitch. I was in the internet wrestling community.
That's wild.
It's the lamest shit I've been a part of. Here,
that's not true.
Watching...
You've been in some of Spencer's streams.
Wow.
He's not here. It's fine.
No, yeah. I don't like when we bully Spencer when it's just the two of us.
I don't either.
He ain't gonna watch it. It's bullying now.
It's what?
It's bullying now. He's not gonna watch this.
That's fine. Are you against bullying?
You know, Juliana gets really upset. It loves to make me whenever I complain about her abuse. She goes, "I thought you said bring bullying back."
Dude, she's fucking got you dead to rights. She's right. She's right. That's a real thing you've said.
Yes. It's like, you always say people need to be meaner. How do you like it when that happens to you? And I'm always high as shit, so I'm very sensitive. And she's just railing on me.
Carlos, I want you to take this in the kindest way possible. I do think you are someone who needs to be bullied. So,
wow.
So I think she's keeping you in check. I said take that in the kindest way possible.
Why? Everyone who loves me really wants to bully me for some reason. I don't get it. My sister loves me to the end of the moon, and she's just like every day hating every day.
I see. I do count myself among great company as one of your better haters, but also it's because usually it's just reversing something you've already done to someone else.
I'm not saying it's right, but
I'm evening out the universe. I mean, I think you and I suffer from the same thing, which is why it's bad. If we didn't target each other, it'd be bad. Mm-hmm. Because
unusual level of confidence.
Yes, because we both have I'm not gonna say an ego, but an ego, and sometimes people catch us with said ego. And it's like, what? Me? What do you mean? Like,
well, I just don't think people gotta attack me. You know, I live every day the power of Christ, you know. But like other people, like that. Other people having premarital sex. Not me. I'm a Christian. I'm a virgin. Never touched a vagina. But others,
I do
they
believe
want to
that.
hate. They want to hate me for my purity. I don't.
That's crazy. Why would they do that?
It's wild to me. I said that at work the other day. That I was a Christian and a virgin, and the person took me serious. And I was just like, you know, I live with my girlfriend, right?
You can still be a Christian and a virgin living with a girlfriend.
True, but like I feel like we need like 2 twin beds, like a 1960s sitcom.
You know what? I want to point this out, and I feel like nobody ever asked these questions at the time, but I feel like they should have. Did they need to be 2 twins?
Yeah.
Couldn't it have been 2 queens?
No, you gonna spend all that money at the mattress store for that?
Maybe.
I feel like it would work the money up. I mean, depending on how many pilots you're shooting, I feel like it's just literally like it's easier to move this around, to change the room around.
Maybe, I guess so. They probably did use a lot of the same set.
Yeah. And then you could use those same beds for like, 2 siblings sharing a room.
Maybe. I don't know how I feel
I don't
about this
know.
yet.
We'll think about it. We'll workshop it. It could be like Malcolm in the Middle. That shit was wild.
Oh, the 3 of them in one fucking room?
Yeah.
That's.
Oh my
I felt like that when I shared a room with Mark. So I was like, there's so much that I was like, Mark is like 16 and I'm like 19, 20. Why are we sharing a room?
Now, sharing a room with someone, like I only had to do it in college for that 1 year. And even then, I got really lucky. Both my roommates were from New York, so they were constant. Like one lived in Brooklyn and one lived in Long Island, so they were both like constantly like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sleep at home tonight," and I was just like, "Cool, big room to myself." Like I still had a suite with like other people.
Didn't
so it
you
was,
share
like,
with
cool.
3 other people? I don't remember. I remember
So I
sitting in
had-
that room because I was sitting in there for hours because of Daniel. But
So there were eight in a full room.
we're just going straight past this.
Yes, yeah.
That's probably
So,
the
yeah.
best.
8 people. Two rooms were singles. Those cost more, and then like 2 triples. And so, which was great because it was like, I don't know, it was a lot of fun having a suite freshman year because it's like, you're already friends with everyone who lives there, and it makes it a lot easier to make other friends because you're like, one out of you is gonna vibe with me.
Of your roommates, which do you think, looking back, you like the most?
Okay. So like, despite your hatred, Daniel was my boy, but living with Daniel, I was like, nah, this is too much, Daniel.
I would
like,
argue any amount is too much, but that's fair.
yeah,
I guess.
we know. But like,
I love
Daniel.
I love you trying to balance me hating someone that you're close with. It's so funny.
But yeah, but I'm like, that's my boy. But like living with EJ, the only thing with EJ was like he was dirty, but he was a cool dude, and also he scared the hoes, so he wasn't that great.
Why?
It's just EJ. He's very like.
EJ's
awkward.
like the only one of your sweet mates that I met that I was like, this dude's cool.
Yeah, I get
Actually,
that.
there was
'Cause
another guy at one point, but things changed, and I stopped being cool with him.
Which one?
Was it? It was like your own, one of your. It was your only white roommate, which is a funny thing to say.
Bobby?
No,
Andrew?
I think it was Andrew. Didn't he become?
Okay,
Didn't
yeah.
he become a Trumper?
Yeah. That's him. Yeah. Oh, that was a goal. But like, that was a crazy motherfucker. Cause he. So I had a so this was a guy who we didn't start the year off with. Like one dude dropped out, another one like he was the second dude to come into the room. And like we were all pretty much in tight groups, but he bonded with me and Daniel like immediately, and EJ to an extent. So like me and EJ weren't particularly close, but me and EJ were like, like we both liked the same shit, so we used to kick it in the we kicked it in the suite the entire time.
What were you
Like,
kicking?
Like we would play GameCube and whatnot. Me and EJ was a
You were
friendship
kicking in the GameCube? Why didn't it work?
I hate you. We were only hanging out in the suite. EJ wasn't someone we'd bring out to parties because he wasn't really like he was also very Christian, so he wasn't into big.
Ooh, I
like,
didn't know that.
Doing the big party thing. Yeah, but he was like EJ was cool, but also EJ like scared the women. So and he hit on my cousin. So I was like, all right, that's that. We're shutting that down right now.
I don't like the way you said he scared the women. I don't. You keep saying it. I still don't like the way you keep saying it.
He's just an odd dude. He gets a little too comfortable way too quick. Not like in a weird sexual way, more in like a you're making weird jokes, dude. Like find this funny. That's an inside joke on an inside joke.
Hey, this is brutal, by the way.
Yeah, you
he's kicking the shit out of me. I didn't know. I knew he was strong. I didn't realize he was like sweep my team strong.
And then then we had Gio and Nate. Gio and Nate were great because they would beat people up. Them dudes came to learn and fight people at my school. Very friendly guys, though. Very well-meaning dudes.
Oh.
Yeah, living with other dudes is like it's wild.
I never did. I had one roommate. That's it. My entire life. Oh, that's not true. I had my one roommate in college for a couple years, and then I had the couple that I moved in with.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend. I recommend moving in with 5 guys you don't know instead of a couple you do know. I do recommend that.
Yeah. The couple I lived with was great, but I think also they were in a very different part of their relationship than yours.
I think that the part that when people say don't move in with a couple, I get what they mean to an extent. I do still disagree some of it. Like, if you're moving in with like a married couple and they're like a good marriage, one that should be married, that's fine. You're married with or you get into with a group with like 2 people who like genuinely love and cherish each other, that's fine. You get in with people who like proposed after like a year, like, and like you can tell at a glance they shouldn't be together, but they're wanting to get married. Maybe
you got to test the relationship. You got the potions in there.
No, because the part that I didn't like, and I think I have another friend, Nicole, who went through this with the roommate she had. They fight, and then they're like, and then they both go to you, and they're like, Nick, what do you think? And I'm like, don't involve me. That's what I think. Like, don't leave me alone.
They show the sitcom life a bit too closely.
I know. I told you this. My stupid fucking. Of course, it happens to me. Sorry, I'm getting mad at the sitcom stuff because it's too predictable.
Nah, I mean the couple of was like it was honestly my best living situation because it was just like someone's always home. There was a dog. Because she worked nights and he worked like regular finance, and I worked like a midday because I was in grad school. It was just like, that was a great like. Too skinny. I should have ate more. I was also very broke, and I do
want to quickly say that the professor just said like, oh, I shouldn't call you a kid anymore. You're a Pokemon champion now. I'm like, I'm still 10, but okay. Like,
still can't consent, sir.
In fact, it's kind of an indictment on the entire Pokemon's like organization that a 10-year-old was able to beat this many challenges. Like, maybe all the rest of you should train harder. Like, Carlos, welcome to the Hall of Fame.
See, this is why Tom Brady said, "Fuck his kids." You don't get to here without sacrifices.
All right, here are the 6 Pokemon that you used, Carlos. Can you name all 6 of them?
No.
I'm not even gonna pretend to.
There's climate change. There's the alligator. There's Maz as the magnets.
There's Clank, the Metagross.
Yeah.
There's Rex, the Nidoking.
Shout out to him.
There's Reptar, the Tyranitar.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
There's Feraligatr, the Feraligatr.
No.
There's Climate Change, the Infernape. And there's Maz, the Magnezone. In the zone, Magnezone.
Get in the zone.
And then you're the champion, Carlos. You did it.
Yeah, fuck off, you losers. I run this bitch. 48 hours?
Yeah.
Damn.
Some of that was off because I was I either left the game running or I did a little bit on my own. But nope, a lot more of that is accurate than I wish it was. Like,
god damn.
Hey, you ride a bike like a bitch.
Wow.
You got this big open path and you're going like, I don't even know how it's still upright. Like,
but yeah, what should we play next? What's next on the docket?
God, I want to go back to shitty trophy games.
All right,
this was a slog for me. I just want to point that out. So like, let me give my review of Pokemon Diamond. So again, just to reiterate for the people who missed the explanation in the beginning or forgot, this is the only, like, one of the only generations Pokemon like I just never played. And I was like, okay, well, I want to play it because then I can gain access to some Pokemon if I ever want to do more stuff with like Pokemon Home and the Pokedex. Like, this has some Pokemon that you can only obtain like in this game, on the Switch at least. Or like I could still use like Pokemon Go, but that's less reliable because the Pokemon are more random. Like this, I'd like know where to find Pokemon. So I was like, well, haven't really been recording with the boys, but it's a pain in the fucking ass to get four of them, or all four of us together.
Yeah,
so,
but you can get me.
So I was like, I can get Carlos. Carlos is the runner-up. He's like the
wow.
What I meant is like the first shirt. Like you like the runner-up to me, Carlos. Yeah. Like that's impressive. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I can get Carlos. He's the first choice. He's like he'll be the most down for it. Plus, it'd be funny to show Carlos Pokemon because he's never played it before. And then I was playing this and I was like, wow, this is a really faithful remake of the DS version. And what I mean by that is we have a couple quality of life things, but for the most part, it sucks. And it's the reason I put down the game in the first place. Because I don't want to play the fucking top-down version of Pokemon. I want to play the 3D version where you run around. And, like, there's wild Pokemon, like, out in the wild and stuff like that. And you can battle wherever. And there's all sorts of fun things like Dynamax raids, or there's cool mechanics, or there's, like, more Pokemon. I hated this. This was not a good Pokemon experience. But, like, I genuinely... Carlos got me through it. Like, which was the plan was. That's what the plan was. Carlos would like help me here because like we'd be cracking jokes, we'd be having fun, and I would get through this slog of a game. The downside is that nobody's watched the series. Like, we
started off strong.
This is one of my lowest watched series in so long, and I'm like, is that because it's just vanilla Pokemon Diamond, which is as a two-parter. Is just a normal game, so there's no like randomizer or any like fun gimmick to it, and also is not that well received of a port, and also I did it like a year after it released. Like, so like I didn't hit the nostalgia, I didn't hit the like while it's new, like it's just like the worst played series. Or is it because Carlos is here? I don't know. Like, so
I still continue to be friends because no one's watching, right?
That's true. Nobody's ever going to take us up on that bet, so we're good. But yeah, I think we're gonna go back off to if we can't find a good co-op game to like actually play together. Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll play the game that I can't record, but we'll just play it like as friends. Like,
okay, yeah, we can do that. It doesn't have to be all content mills. We could also Fortnite. Let's become Fortnite streamers.
Yeah, Carlos, that new game Fortnite you just heard about.
I hear everyone's playing it.
Yeah, well, that's true. to a dangerous effect of everyone's playing it, so why would they watch me play it? Like,
I honestly I wish you could sort by least views on something. I would love to see what's the least viewed Fortnite thing and watch that.
That would be interesting. I would also just like to. I'm sure there's like a lot tied for just 0 views or like 1 views, but I would like it for the opposite. I'd love to see the least viewed, but like on a channel basis. So let's go to PewDiePie and see what his least viewed video is. Like,
oh. I mean, what's the one PewDiePie doesn't want you to see?
That's what I mean. What are the buried videos on certain big channels? Oh man.
YouTube, if you're listening, give us the analytics to be worse people.
Real quick, once it lets me save, I want to show you 2 Pokemon games, like 5 minutes each. I want to show you 2 different Pokemon games to show that this is what Pokemon was. Let me show you what it is, like what it is now. Like, the core is there. It's not going to be like night and day, but I think you'll be like, oh yeah, this is like what I would expect in a modern game to do. Like, oh, I guess it just saved automatically for me. Perfect. All right, get rid of that. Ask it again, because you asked it last week, and I bet you forgot.
It's apparently a Netflix game.
Is it?
You can play it in the browser.
I guess that makes sense. It probably isn't that technically demanding.
Yeah, Netflix. It's in there. Actually, I don't know. It's a mobile. Is it a mobile? Oh, okay. How the fuck do you? Whatever, man. I'm not even gonna try.
uh,
Fucking, who knows how to fucking use YouTube with that? Also, do you think Nintendo still has the rights to the Pokemon song?
like the Pokemon rap?
No, the Pokemon with me.
Oh, for sure. They've remixed it a couple times, I think. Like they've like brought it back occasionally. I do think that was like some type of. Okay, so this is like a more modern looking game. Like, you know, it's 3D, you run around and stuff like that.
He's a person. He looks like he's walking.
Let me show you the coolest part about this game for me, which is so you kind of got the general gist of what BDSP looked like the look. So this is kind of the same, except they didn't go on cue, but that's fine. Oh yeah, they did. You can like see the Pokemon in the grass and stuff, like, and they'll like chase after you and stuff. On top of that, there's is that the right button? Here we go.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, there's Pokemon like flying in the wild, like Butterfree. I think there's like bigger Pokemon. Yeah, like there'll be like more evolved forms.
No,
like,
so it's like it's better you know what you're gonna try to fight here.
And it's also just like it feels like a living ecosystem, like it should. Like there's just Pokemon everywhere. The draw distance isn't great because it's a Nintendo game, of course.
Yeah.
But so the other cool thing about this is like this whole big area is all like one big like wild open area. And like when you go to the different parts of it, different Pokemon spawn depending on the time of I think maybe just on the weather. I don't think it depends on the time of day. But so like you have like all of these different parts of this big open world, and all of these like Pokemon in it that will change like if the weather like slightly changes. Look at this big fuck. Like
What the fuck is that mean?
it's creepy.
Yeah, I don't like
fuck.
that.
And then the battles largely look the same.
Okay.
They've changed that
That's
in the next game I'm going to show you. So like this one, they take you to like a screen, and you you know, you kind of fight here, and then like, you go back into like the overworld or whatever. Like it's like a different screen. You get how it works. You've seen video games.
Yeah.
I do want to quickly try and get but this is what I mean, where it's like this is just one big area, but like you go, there's like things happening. There's all sorts of different wild Pokemon. This is like the game that like got me back into Pokemon, where I was like, oh, it's finally like how Pokemon fucking should be. Okay, like again, the biggest problem with this game is draw distance and, you know, graphics that look like they're a PS2 game, but you know, there's only so much you can do about that. Nintendo's a small indie company, like.
Yeah. They don't have billions of dollars.
No. Nor does the Pokemon Company. Alright, I think that's enough of this one. So the other one I'm going to show you is the one that came out earlier this year. Still looks like a PS2 game, but they've changed up a bunch of the mechanics to like try and make it more adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they succeeded very well. And my expectations are very high, so good on them, I guess.
Nintendo's such an interesting company.
But
like in
they
terms
spent
of
so long with their heads up their ass, being like, "Well, we make toys for kids," and I'm like, "Okay, you can do that, but also, even modern toys do some of this stuff." Like, oh, actually, you know, 1-to-1. This one is a little bit more stylized. It's like slightly cell shaded. I guess I didn't notice that before. Let's go. What's a good area to show off? I think this is a good one. Let's do the first area. So there's like 4 or 5 maps in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like different biomes and stuff like that. Unlike the other game, like the weather is the same in the entire area in this one. But you get like, you can, instead of a bike, you get a mount. You get like an actual like Pokemon mount. So you can see Pokemon like just in the wild, but they're not like buried by grass or like you can only see them when you get so close anymore. Which is pretty cool. There's like all sorts of different ones. Oh, that's a rare Eevee. I already have plenty, so that's fine. You can sometimes see people in the wild. Got little Bidoofs and shit. So there's also alpha Pokemon, which I think it might not appear because it's raining. So thank you for making me look like an asshole. Okay. Hold on, I can find others. But, yeah, it's like... So the whole thing with this one is that you're just, like, out in the wild. Like, look at this one with red eyes, and it's, like, giant.
Oh, shit.
So we've got, like, these basically, like, monstrous giant Pokemon. Let me find the Snorlax, if I can. So you have a couple different mounts that you get throughout the game. You do get a flying one, which is very good. I don't remember how to fly with this. Oh, there we go. You don't sound very interested, but I'm gonna get you. Trust me.
It's Pokemon. They poking. They're manning it.
So this is a fun one where you can technically explore the whole area right away, but then if you try and go over this way, there's this giant fucking Snorlax just guarding the area. If you get too close, they'll try and attack you. Which I think is always funny in games. I love when there's like a giant thing that you shouldn't fight yet that's just like in the starting area. Alright. Let's
Fuck that dude up.
I gotta remember how to... No, I'm not. It turns out. No, I am not. I do not have what I thought I do. Hold on, I will. What do you, what game do you, like, most excited for that's coming out next?
I'm trying to think.
I know that's hard
the
for you.
Callisto Protocol, that one?
The what?
The Callisto Protocol? The...
Oh, yeah, that's in December, isn't it? That's closer than
Yeah.
I keep forgetting how close it's going to be. The not Dead Space?
Yes. And the Dead Space remake. I'll spend...
What a fuck you from EA, by the way. Like, to, like, fucking bury Dead Space for years. And then they're like, okay, well, then we'll do it on our own. And then they're like, well, hold on. Let's relax. What if we also did it? Oh, they're like, oh yeah, I guess people did want this game. Crazy. Who could have seen this coming? I don't know. I'm mad at EA for that. That's kind of fucked up.
I mean, yeah. I don't know, man. EA is so weird because they had that one glory period where they were just hitting hot fire, and then they just decided, you know what? Let's never do that again.
They're like, okay, we're done.
We took risks, and we are no longer doing that. Like,
what I like about EA is that they buy studios that do one thing really fucking well, and then they're like, do this other thing. They're like, okay, we'll try, boss, and then they fail, and then they're like, sorry, we tried our best, we're just not like built for that, and we also have no experience with it. And they're like, oh, hey, it's fine, we're closing your studio down, and then all of you are out of a job. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great? like,
oh my god, free BioWare, but also who knows what BioWare would even look like.
That's what I mean. Where it's like, there's also parts where I'm like, you know, oh yeah, fuck, I forgot there's fall damage. So the other cool thing about this Pokemon that makes it better than the other Pokemon is, let me find this. Is it? So the other part about this one oh my god, I'm struggling here. Hold on.
You can trap them?
So you can just fucking throw Pokeballs at Pokemon and just catch them. That's it. You don't have to battle them first. You don't have to do anything like that. You can just catch them. And it's so fast and it's so good.
Wait, doesn't that kind of break the loop of like now you don't have to like coach up?
No, because you still have to like level them up and stuff.
Okay.
And you still have to like teach them moves, get them just right. And on top of that, what it does is it basically makes it so like you're more likely to try and fill out the Pokedex and catch every single one because it's so easy, or at least it's easy on like a singular basis. Also, another fun thing this game does, if I can get it to do it. you can just throw your Pokemon out for like various crafting things, but also they can just chill with you if you want to. And you can do like all 6 at once.
Just mob up on people.
So just hanging out with the dudes, with the bros. So
Are they all taller than you?
they're all alpha Pokemon, so they're like much bigger than normal. Yeah, remember this guy?
Yeah.
But just I think that's fun, especially combined with like a photo mode. Just a lot of like quality of life stuff. I do
Honestly,
so the other
it looks so much more interesting to me than the other one that we just played.
like just now, like
Yeah, no, like well that one, yeah, and like the original, like the whole game where I was just like, all right, the interesting part is like there's nothing to really look at.
well, that's what I mean. It's like this is what it's cool. It's like you can finally like searching all these areas for the first time, seeing which Pokemon are there, seeing like all that fun stuff is like so crazy. Also, the thing that's different with this one is you just battle wherever. Like there's no transition screen like to like move you to a different area or anything like that. You just fucking do it. And you can obliterate some very small Pokemon. And then when you you can also move around during battles and stuff too. And when you're done, you just keep going. Like it's just streamlined. So a lot of people were like shitting on this game before it came out because they were like, it looks like a PS2 game, and I can't fight that. That's fair. Like you're entitled to do that. Like I will never stop you from shitting on games because they look like shit. But so like I kind of assumed that like I played it and loved it. I like favorite Pokemon loved it, and I was like talking about it today with some people in the Discord, and I was like, oh, it's like this isn't one of like the beloved ones, and then someone was like, isn't it? And I was like, oh, I guess you're right. I guess I haven't seen anything negative about it since it launched. Like, so this is a fun thing. So this game takes place in the past. Is the whole thing? It's like 100 years before the rest of the Pokemon. But we have these weird because they had never intended for that. We have these weird space-time distortion bubble things where they'll spawn like more modern Pokemon that like can't exist back here, which is kind of fun.
The timeline.
Yeah, I want to wait for it to start because it's like the last thing I have to show you from this game because it's like the only like mechanic left. But so I guess the new Pokemon is supposed to be most like this one, from what people are seeing so far, which I am definitely excited for. The only thing I don't know if you can do in that game is if you can catch Pokemon like without battling. You can also catch Pokemon in battles in this game too, so it's like it's still got all the old mechanics. I don't know. How do you feel about Pokemon in general, having been here for an entire playthrough of one, except for that 5-hour part I skipped?
I kind of get the appeal. I got the one thing with me in Pokemon is always just that there isn't like the narrative hook for me of like, okay, so I'm gonna just catch these Pokemon to catch these Pokemon to catch these Pokemon. But like I kind of get it where if you're like, especially on the Game Boy, like if you're on a ride, it's like something to do.
I think I understand why it became so popular for sure. I think I'm still kind of curious why it's taken them so long to like modernize it. Yeah, because I'm like, into like the game before the one, like the last released game before the one I showed you before this, because this is like a spinoff. The one I showed you where I was like running around that one big area was like the last mainline game. Before that, it was still on the 3DS, and like it was so fucking boring because it was like it still treated me like it was the first Pokemon game I'd ever played. I'm like, we're on the 7th generation, maybe like the 20th fucking game in the series, and you're giving me this beginner VO I can't skip. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm just... And so, like, Sword and Shield, the one I just showed you, kind of changed that a little bit. This, like, it feels like the most, like, hit the ground running one there is. Like, the tutorial probably takes, like, an hour, and, like, part of it, I'm like, I get it. Yeah, I know, come on. But, like, after that, they're like, nah, fucking go. See ya. Just go explore. Find the plot elements on your own. That's the cool thing about the new Pokemon too. Is like I guess there's like 3 main plots, which is normal for a Pokemon game because like we had like the evil team that we had to fight, and then we had the Elite Four, and then we had like occasionally we'd like do stuff for the Professor or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So it's like that, but all 3 are separate, so they don't weave them together, and you can choose which one you want to do, whenever. That's like the whole draw of the new Pokemon game is they basically start you in the middle of the map, and they're like, there you go. Go wherever you want. Do whatever you want. Like, whichever plot you want to follow, whichever, anything like that. Which I'm like, that's a bold fucking move. Like, I'm curious to see how it works out. But I agree with you. The one thing that's, like, crazy to me about Pokemon is that for an RPG, which it is, it doesn't have a strong story in a single one. Like, every single one is, like, just like a very generic story. There's no like twists and turns. I will say at the end of this one, there's like kind of a twist that like is kind of telegraphed, but like telegraphed so long that you're like, okay, well surely if they were going to do this twist, they would have done it by now. Like that long.
I don't something like that. I wonder of like trying to tell a kid's story is so like difficult. Especially like telling a good children's story versus a bad children's story.
Yeah. But yeah, we can see some of the Pokemon starting to spawn here. Some of these are more rare. And they will attack you. And if you get hit, you can get knocked out and get fucking reset back to where you respawn.
Back where you came from?
Yeah, go back to the beginning. It's
So
like
what do they do?
it's like the Dark Souls of Pokemon. You never played Dark Souls either, right?
Nah.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day that's what we'll you can be a co-pilot on.
Oh yeah. I love hating.
Oh my god, you would be relentless. I don't know if I could play a Dark Souls with you.
I was actually
There would be so much just get good, Nick. Like
what I was gonna do after Lost Judgment, I was gonna do something stupid. And then after I did something stupid, I was thinking about like, oh, maybe I'll do Returnal or Demon Souls on the PlayStation Plus.
Returnal's great.
Yeah, I've heard great things.
Returnal was a very good casual experience, and going for the platinum made me hate myself. But that can happen. Sometimes the trophies just are not kind to you.
Also, playing Hades, still good. I want to say, it's still good to everyone. If you were wondering,
Hades will continue to be good forever. I was like, you know what? What was the stupid thing you were gonna do first? Because I also almost did a stupid thing.
replay Red Dead Redemption 2.
That would be stupid. I can confirm. I can't confirm, but I can confirm.
I played the opening chapter and I was like, oh, yo, I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be. I don't know. It's more your jam than mine.
Honestly, I remember the first time I played Red Dead Redemption, I was like, all right, this game's okay. And then the second time I went through it, I was
That's
just
all
like,
it takes.
this might be it, dog. This might be the greatest thing ever. I was wrong. But
what else was I going to say? So I was looking at buying a Steam Deck, which I don't need a Steam Deck.
the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yo, I'm about it.
The Steam Deck makes a lot of sense for you. Like, A, just having a PC. B, having a portable one. Like, the Steam Deck is perfect for you.
Oh, man, I think about it like...
Carlos, can I share something with you about the Steam Deck that's, like, is what the reason that, like, my renewed interest came back?
What up?
They released a dock for it.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, okay. Because honestly, yeah, once you do that with the, like, I can get
over.
gamepad on that, with put the PlayStation controller, get a little haptic feedback on that thing. Shit, man. Sony might have lost a customer.
I mean, yeah, you can play Sony games, like, 6 years after they release on PlayStation.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like, yeah, you're right.
I mean, if you want to play
Like,
Spider-Man 2 in 2030, that's fine. But
no, seeing people like getting like we're doing this thing. Like I like the ports. I like ports. I'm gonna say that.
I do
I'll
like
go
ports,
off it.
of course.
But like hearing renewed opinions about like what this game was, and like people like reinvestigating, like, oh, is Spider-Man still good at this time of release? And it's just like, dog, Spider-Man was fire then. It's fire now. You don't have to fucking lie to me.
Yeah,
You don't have to lie
that
to
is some
yourself.
weird things of like some Spider-Man like revisionist history, where people will try and be like, I don't know, was Spider-Man really as good as everyone said it was, or just come out at a good time? Like, dog, Spider-Man is still good.
No, like,
I know it will continue
fire.
to be good. Like,
That's one of those game releases where I remember exactly where I was when that shit dropped, and it dropped harder than crack. I saw it all over my timeline from people I didn't know played video games. That's how hard when people say, "Oh, Reagan hit people hard with crack," that's what I imagine. Wait a minute.
I
It's
mean,
everywhere.
for personal reference, Dragon Quest 11, like a series to rival Final Fantasy, came out like a week before, and I put that down. I'd waited like, I don't know, like, oh my god, when did I play 9? I think because 10 didn't come out in the West. I played 9 when I was like in like 2014, and then it came out. Or no, that still seems too early. Did Spider-Man come out in 2016?
2018.
No, you're right. So I played that in like 2013, 2014, maybe even like 2012. Waited more than 5 years for the sequel to come out. Was enjoying the sequel, put it down for Spider-Man, and did not stop until I had the platinum for Spider-Man. Like, that's how good Spider-Man is.
Like my hater moment, you know me, number one hater to a T is like people rewrite 2018 to say that it was God of War and it was Spider-Man and it was Red Dead 2 up for those titles for Game of the Year. Well, Game AAA year. Forget whatever like the hot indie game might have been, but for AAA games, Spider-Man was that dog.
Oh, for sure.
Red Dead didn't hit like that. Red Dead. People will try to lie and say Red Dead hit like crack, but Spider-Man hit like crack.
And that's just how it goes. Anyway, that's the end of this video.
Yeah, but God of War wasn't like that.
I was definitely trying to not get into the God of War conversation again. We know where you stand. You'd rather that Kratos had the minigame where he had sex with women, where it was a hack and slash,
Step back.
where it was just a generic hack and slash, that just like every other game where he was just angry. That was the whole fucking game. He was just angry. Where he killed the gods in one game, and then he killed them again, and then he killed the fucking titans and the gods, and then you played the fucking sequels where you go back and kill some other Greek mythology we didn't see for the fucking 2 PSP games. Then we have Ascension, the game nobody asked for, that you were like, I don't know, this game hits, Nick. It's no. Ugh. Just play Devil May Cry like an adult. So, like,
Oh wow, man! I thought this was.
I really like the God of War. Like, I get the sequel series and remake sounds wrong because it's not a remake. I like the new God of War a lot. I know it didn't.
No.
I know it didn't hit the same for you, but I really enjoyed the combat, and I thought the story was very, very compelling. I don't know. Maybe it's because you grew up with like a complete family.
Wow, yo, I hate that all my friends from broken homes keep saying that shit. I really, it grinds my gears.
Have you considered checking your privilege? Yeah,
Have
me,
you considered-
me, a white
Yeah,
man
yeah, I
said
wasn't
that
around.
to you,
I'm like-
a black man. Have you considered checking your privilege, Carlos?
Nah, I'm never wrong. That we know for certain.
This is why your wife bullies you. It's because you say shit like this.
Oh, she be bullying me. Man, bullying the household.
All right.
She's also a sister. I think all sisters are the devil.
Okay. That's it, Carlos. I'm going to end the video now. Thanks.
All right.
End of the series. Look forward. If you want to see more from me and Carlos, I think we're at our best in our Carlos versus Nick versus Nick versus Carlos in Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Got like 24 videos where we played against each other. That's quality content. Check out the Charlie Murphy Memorial episode. The Dead Rising 2 co-op playthrough was very good. I enjoyed that a lot. I think that was some of our better content. All the Mario Party vids, we do it as an ensemble with my brother and Spencer, are very good. The Borderlands 2 playthrough. What else have we done that I haven't mentioned?
No, I'm looking up this Charlie Murphy episode because I knew I was spitting the bitch.
We did it we recorded it that day. I
I rem-
photoshopped Charlie Murphy with a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh hair.
He was violent.
Well,
Violent.
we've thought about this a lot because we've debated if we should do other ones, and they have to be a celebrity of like a certain level.
It can't. No, they can't have stands.
They can't be.
Nicki
They can't
Minaj
have. They
stand
can't have
would
stands.
bomb our home.
They can't have stands, but they also can't be unheard of. That might
Yeah.
also be funny, but I think Charlie Murphy was just well known enough. Like we might be able to get away with a John Lovitz memorial episode.
Yeah, but like no one's searching up Charlie Murphy.
No. People are searching Charlie Murphy Chappelle show, and it recommends they get that fucking memorial episode. And they're like, "What the fuck is this?" All right, that's the real end. Okay, bye everyone.
Yeah.